Well, it goes without saying that I probably thought I was never going to actually like a black and white movie, and I think that a lot of people probably have similar thoughts and feelings as I do. Which takes us to the 2019 movie The Lighthouse, starring my ever growing love, Robert Patterson, and the great Defoe himself. Now, it stars the pair with a very simple premise and the jarring inclusion of black and white into its filmography. And it takes place during the 1890s, and the pair have to sit out in the lighthouse, watcher keeper, which probably were a thing back in the day, and definitely would fucking suck. And it embodies and embroils just how much of a shitty stint this would be, just out stuck with someone in the middle of fucking nowhere and doing what looks like extremely shitty work in the process. And it's only a matter of time before the antics begin. And I think that the true magic of this movie is you could have taken any of the fucking actors in the entire world and put them together and not really had great chemistry, and this have been kind of a sort of a yawn boring shit fest of a movie. But the two personalities of the crazed and ever beautiful William Defoe and the hardened, guarded Robert Pattinson, who started life out off as just another teen heartthrob in a boring series, Twilight, quickly became just a fucking fantastic actor. The way he conveys emotion and the way he um he perfected his craft over all these years. Robert Pattinson is just fucking fantastic, and anybody who doesn't like his work based upon behind the Twilight era is fucking missing out the pat. And it's only until the antics of the extremely drunken state these two find him and start to kick in that the real insanity kicks off. Now, there's definitely some Lovecraftian inspirations here, but I would go so much to say that it's a pretty unique story. And who knows about the fucking lore or whatever, or whether this is book based on Edgar Allan Poe's works or symbiotic art. There's some clear creepy ass shit going on in this movie, and it makes you kind of root for the characters because this would be not a fun situation for anybody to be in. The way Patterson and Defoe play off each other's insanity is pure movie magic, and the reason why movies are just so fucking spectacular in the first place. You took a situation where a black and white movie in the modern era is fucking deeply entertaining enough to make a review about in its favor is truly a work of art. And that's what this movie really conveys. It's real movie art. It's movie art that takes on a form of its own, and its beautiful integrity is just stellar, and the work of its craft. And the fact that this movie kind of plays into horror is also awesome because although I like these two actors and would love to just see them hanging out and getting drunk in the middle of nowhere while there's all kinds of shit going on, this movie has a dark and very oppressive presence on the screen at all times. And I would go so far to classify it as kind of a horror movie because there were some parts where I was a little bit spooked out, and the only thing that kept drawing me back in was just the pure lovableness of these two characters and their interplay. And I was baked as absolute fuck watching this movie. So I mean, basically the trippiness and the otherworldliness of this movie really catches you off guard, and although it's a dreary and dark atmosphere, it has some true kind of off-putting imagery strewn across the entire movie. One being Robert Patterson. I'm not gonna risk putting on here, but just jerking off in the middle of a fucking rainstorm while he starts crying when he comes. It's fucking ridiculous. It's the type of insanity I'd sign up for with a movie like this. So on a recap of the movie, Patterson and Defoe end up in this fucking lighthouse with each other, and they're just like it starts off amicable enough and pretty much acceptable as it could be or would be for the two of them. But it quickly becomes evident that Defoe is just an absolute fucking lunatic, and he starts just pissing Patterson off to the tenth degree, and that in itself is entertaining for me, honestly, because he's just like Defoe is just golden as that old crotchety asshole that you just don't want to spend a second with. And Patterson's stuck there with him. He's fucking trying to figure all this shit out, and with all the creepiness going on, and you got Defoe, with just a career-defining, incredible performance. I just love him in everything he does. But in this, he's at his Defoeist. I think the overarching kind of thought and feeling of Patterson's character is he just wants to get off this fucking island. And that's got to be what they're getting at because fuck it, we'll spoil. We already posted it. Like at the end, it has a really fucked up ending with Patterson getting fucking basically eaten by seagulls in the middle of the rocks on the edge of it. So I think that it's a basic statement on wanting to leave somewhere so bad, but then ultimately it being that's where you're tombed in and he can't leave, and it just that part at the end is just you have to watch the movie to know, but that part at the end is just utterly fucking jaw-droppingly brutal, and this movie's just skewing with art of or visuals of just truly trippy and off-putting nature. So I guess the question on everybody's mind is, can a black and white movie work in the modern era? You would think it impossible, but I think what we learned with this movie is that yes, it can work. And it never put me off it being in black and white because it seemed to actually add to its aesthetic. And the way that this movie felt was just perfect. It was just perfect. The black and white fixed it perfectly. Everything was just so in place. It's a great movie. Go watch it. It's definitely a 9 out of 10 material, depending on what your preferences are. But yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is, yeah, you can make a black and white movie, but it's got to be a very fucking good black and white movie, and it's got to fit the sequence of events and the feel of the movie. So there you have it, The Lighthouse, the movie that is just stellar in everything it does. And it's a movie that as soon as I heard about it, I was always curious. And I think for a lot of people, they'll come across this movie in a similar fashion. I was sold from the get-go of the premise and the thought and the feel of this movie. But I mean, a lot of people will be always interested in it as soon as they see it. And then as soon as they actually watch it, Jesus, it'll be something they truly fucking think is magic, and that's what this movie is. It's magic of movie making, baby. It just feels right. It's just made right. It's entertaining. It's interesting. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Actors are fantastic, and yeah, fucking love Defoe. Love Patterson. Beautiful movie. Oh, and lastly, the ending part of this movie is just utter fucking creepiness. There's something about it that is just so wrong. And that the way the effects are and the thought of what he's going through, truly horrifying. Motherfuckers.